Hello everybody. Welcome to our first Tuesdays in 10 with Molly. It's April 27th, 2020 for those of us who are starting to lose track of the days and the times. Tuesdays in 10 is going to be a video posted every Tuesday offering healthcare tools and tips in 10 minutes or less. So this is our first video. And today we're going to talk about caring for the caregiver or self-care tips and tricks for those who are in the healthcare profession and those who aren't and are just home healthcare caregivers for their parents, their children, anybody in the home, and really just the importance of self-care for everybody, especially in this time, in a time of quarantine, in a time of forced isolation, that hopefully we can find tools and interventions to help us feel a little less isolated in the space that we're in, if it's alone at home, if it's isolated through the screen, but really finding just a couple things that we can try and implement that aren't overwhelming and can be pretty simple if we let them. I know that I tend personally to take on a lot and say I'm going to do these 5 things and they're going to be perfect and I'm going to feel great, and it's too much too fast, right? And so today we're going to just talk about 5 simple steps that you can try, and you can pick one. It doesn't have to be 5 wonderful goals that you're going to succeed at, because then we find that not only do we still feel isolated and overwhelmed caring for ourselves and for others, but now we feel like we failed at yet again another obstacle or goal. So really, I invite you to listen to these 5 steps, suggestions, tools that you can use for yourself, that you can apply in any space and time in your life. So the first tool we're going to talk about today is finding your quiet time. I know that sounds crazy, right? Especially if you are home, working from home, caring for an elderly parent, your children are running around. Finding a quiet time seems like an impossible feat. And when I say that, I suggest not giving yourself an hour of yoga in the living room and everybody's quiet in the house. That's not realistic. I'm home and I don't have children, and I know that's not realistic for me and my loved ones in the household, but giving myself 5 minutes, taking yourself into one bedroom and saying, I'll be right out, I'm changing, or whatever excuse you have to give to your family if you find that it's impossible to presently give that suggestion that I need time, but just find 5 minutes in your day to be quiet, to be off the internet, to sit quietly, maybe read a book, maybe something, whatever your 5 minutes is. I know for me, my 5 minutes of quiet time is literally just that, is just sitting in front of an open window and listening to the birds. 5 minutes. So that's your first challenge, is your 5 minutes to yourself. The second tool is moving your body. It's not like, again, like I said, finding that hour of yoga to move my body and work out and do this and that. If it's stretching in the morning, if it's just really walking around the neighborhood, if it's doing that 5 minutes of quiet time in a meditative, mindful, moving state. Like I said, these 5 steps are for you to create and identify a system and a pattern and a goal that works for you. It doesn't have to be 5 minutes of quiet time and 5 minutes of moving your body. You can move your body in that 5 minutes of quiet meditation. So move your body. Number 3, again, is meditate. I always find that word very restrictive, that we have to meditate and I have to sit quietly on my meditation cushion and meditate on a mantra and be silent and go, and absolutely, if that's what you want to do and that works for you and that type of meditation, but meditating through movement, right? Meditating through dance, reading, yoga, walking meditations, like in again, right now we've got 3 things that we can do all in the same time. We're finding our quiet time, we're moving our body, and we're meditating. And that was that 5-minute walk around the block. Right? I suggest not overthinking and over analyzing these tools. It's just something that we're putting into our minds to say, okay, I need to find 5 minutes a day, even. I mean, power to you if you could find 30, an hour and a half, to yourself to implement these tools, but just trying to create 5 minutes, and even if they're combined, because the more that we give back to ourselves and heal our body and our mind, then that way we can care for those others. We can caregive if it's in our home, if it's working in the hospital and being someone on the front line right now. It's really coming back to ourselves. We can go out the next day to give back to others. The 4th tool for today is identifying your support system. And I know, especially if you work in healthcare, all you do all day is saying, what's your support system? Who do you have in your life? Who can you talk to through this? And then you take all of that and you hold it and you have nowhere to go. And then your support system is flushed, right? So you're taking on people's stress, their difficulties in life right now on your daily basis, and then you go home and you sit with those, and not only do you not have the ability to release that for their own things, but you're not identifying your own needs. So really having a support system, if it's someone to talk to, if it's, I jump on these Zoom calls with strangers lately and they're feeling great. It's just someone to talk to about that book that I read, or I just started watching The Magicians on Netflix and it's great, and who do I talk to about it? And it's just a couple minutes in my support system where I can feel held and be heard, if it's talking about The Magicians or if it's talking about a really hard case that I had in the hospital today. Whoever that is, whatever that is finding that. And the last thing we have today is sleep. I know. It's hard, between if you're in the trenches working every day out in the hospitals and the healthcare systems, the nursing homes especially. It's a very important population is the nursing homes, home care, hospice workers. Are kind of being forgotten right now. I'm seeing that, and they're in the trenches, in the thick of it, and doing such important work. And when you go out and you do all that, and you're in that space all day, and then you come home and you have to deal with your life, and you have to do whatever. Really getting that sleep, if that's 8 hours, if that's 5 hours, but it's 5 hours of uninterrupted. Go to bed when you can if you have to wake up earlier. And again, I know you're saying, okay, Molly, 5 great tools that I can't do. Pick one, take the easiest one, and try that this week, however it looks to you, and just see how you feel. Journal, don't journal, sit with it, sing. I am a huge fan of singing in my car. I just I'm just gonna run and grab this. Do we need something? I'll just run and grab it, and it gives me my 10 minutes to sing my musicals in my car, and I come home a whole different person. Find your 10 minutes, find your 5 minutes, and let me know how it goes. I will see you guys next week on our Tuesdays in 10. Thanks.